Next up, we have a guy that intrigues me. A guy that I'm bewildered by. Because I see things about him sometimes, and I'm like, he could be something. And I see things other times, and I'm like,
could have been a contender.
Could have been a contender.
Yeah.
Tomon, what does the fox say?
Ooh.
20. That's a good karaoke song, by the way. 26 years old, 6'3", 260 pounds. Tomon Fox comes out undrafted out of North Carolina back in 22. I don't know about the Giants and North Carolina players. I feel like they're just trying to repeat the LT success. Is that what's going on? You're like, we had the best player ever to come out of that school. We just keep on doing it. We'll get him.
Maybe
we'll get the next LT. Last year, one game, no starts, one tackle, and a 57.5 PFF grade. I didn't feel like that was a safe stat line to give to show what he can do. So I did go to the 22 stats as well for this guy. He just kind of rode the bench a little bit there and rode the practice squad. But in 22, 16 games, 1 start, 24 tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 QB hit. The weird thing about Tomon Fox, I feel like, is you almost forget about him. He kind of just is a background player. And then all of a sudden, he makes this weird play out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he just did this. Tomon Fox, of all people. Because you don't have a high expectation of a guy who's an undrafted player. You don't, let's be honest.
And then us as Giants fans, we love our undrafted players.
Listen, Cruz, just saying.
I hear you.
We typically do well with them.
We do. But we also have a lot of high hopes for another undrafted free agent who loves his Passavajoule.
Well, that's a whole different, that's a whole different thing. People just love the story of him. I feel like Tomon Fox, though, he does have his fan base within the Giants, nation there. I feel like he is that guy who, he'll be that guy that, again, you just every so often he just makes a play and you're like, okay, this guy's got potential. Like, where's this been? And then you look at the rest of the game and you're like, well, that's the only thing he did all game. Like, he's got that knack for being at the right place at the right time. And then disappearing.
Yeah. He's like the fox going right down.
It's a weird thing there. Yeah, it's a weird thing there. So I don't know what to think of Tomon Fox, though. I still hope he develops into somebody that you can have as a decent backup in this league here. But I'll tell you this, if he keeps up that way, where only he shows up every so often and he kind of disappears again, eventually he's going to disappear from the NFL in general.
It's typically how that works.
Yeah, people tolerate that when you're young. He's already 26 years old. And I know 26 years old is young to a lot of us. Let's be very frank. If I was teenage daddy, he could be my son.
Who is he daddy? What does he do? He works 14 hours a day.
Guy. I was in high school when he was born. That's why he's in the NFL, trying to get me to retire now. It's like
he's going to pay for your retirement.
I look at what he's doing, and like I said, it's good enough to intrigue not just myself but NFL teams. But when you're turned 28, 29, 30, I'm less intrigued. So hopefully for his sake, he has a decent year. Balls out a little bit there. I'm not saying like going crazy where he's a starter and all this kind of stuff. Like, you got to set the bar a little lower like that. But if he can give you like 20 tackles and like 4 sacks, and go, okay, this is a guy who's, got some abilities. He's shown a little bit there in some small amount of time there. That's a guy that you're going to be okay with keeping for a few years. So we'll see what happens there. But I know he's definitely got his fans within the organization too. They didn't keep him around to sit him on the practice squad last year because they just needed someone to sit there. He's got some fans. Yeah.
Touche.
Hopefully Their thoughts are validated.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.